and good evening, race fans, or whatever time it is at your place. I'm Handsome Lars. Not that you can see it thanks to the lighting, but you are watching TRACC. We are, of course, doing our weekly TCR Championship, and today we're back home in Indiana for Indianapolis Grand Prix circuit. And let's just fight the buttons here. It is a completely classic touring car race. You've seen it before. 20 minutes of qualifying, a short race, and a longer race. Not gonna bother you with the details. What I am gonna bother you with, however, is the championship. Because this is round 3 of season 2, which, hint hint, you can join. And after 4 races, a slight picture is beginning to emerge. And we're gonna have this adventure again tonight, where it's gonna be one Dutchman and a lot of Hungarians behind him. As we can see in the standings, Niels van Kerkhout has a healthy lead over none less than 3 Hungarians and 1 Brit. It is Kerkhout, Gal, Colin Barker, and Petery, and they're all here tonight. And as we shall see tonight, over the next roughly 90 minutes, they're also gonna be the guys to watch. Now, touring cars on part of an oval is unusual, but we have a guy who has been giving it some thought. Our head honcho Julian Droster, and he is here with a track guide.
We start our lap quite before the start finish straight, because we need to get a good run onto the oval section. Across the finish line we go, start line in this case. And there is a small brake marker on the left. Start braking at that. Down into third or second gear. Through these 2 corners. Try to get a good run, because we'll be accelerating through this corner or towards the outside curb we'll go. Take this kink in full throttle. And this hairpin, you probably want to take it as a late apex. And get a good run out of this right-hander here, because we are now going onto the back straight. Start braking at about the middle of the right-hand curb here, down into third gear for those 2 corners. Do not cut this left-hander too much, otherwise it will invalidate your lap quite easily. And try to get a good run out of this right-hander here, because now we're starting to be full throttle. We're coming back onto the oval section, which is all full throttle. Through the last corner we go. Very banked oval corner. And across the line we go.
And there we go, basically. Unusual to be riding the opposite way of an oval, but here we are. On the 2012 layout of the track, as we see in the track conditions, basically perfect. It is an excellent day to use hard tires and ride them hard. 18 degrees in the air, 31 degrees in the track, slight breeze. And it is, once I found the buttons for it, the standings, it is time for Kerkhout, our championship leader, to begin his qualifying lap. Now, he has been utterly dominant this season. 4 wins in 4 races. And there is, I'm gonna be honest, a pretty good chance he does it again. Now, he has told us, I'm only visiting. This is just a little slight vacation before I go back to my serious racing, which is actually a pretty harsh set, because We like to pretend we're good drivers, but we're not as good as Nils here. So obviously his lap is gonna be the one that we are benchmarking everything from. Although last week on Road America, Niklas Gal, who should be behind him in the Lada, gave him a pretty good fight for pole position. Let's see if it happens again. Other than that, we have a 14-car grid. Not the biggest of grids, but it is 14 motivated and spirited drivers who will fight. And coincidentally have been fighting. Let's see. Camera jerks a bit, but he should be just about ready to set up all the app. Of course, with both Niklas Gal and Julian Strasser right behind him. Obviously, that's going to be a pole lap. A 1:31.7, and Gal sets a 1:31.9 behind him. Elsewhere, Strasser with a 32.0. Oh, and Kurian here with also a 32.0. So that is basically our benchmark. It's going to be high 31s for now, and the rest are going to be doing 32s, probably. Looking at now at last week's big loser, Lucas Fischer. Not a loser of his own fault, though. He was basically in race 2, run off the road in T1. Unfortunate, but it happens, and the man responsible has been punished. Now, let's get back to Nils here. We will not actually be seeing that much of him in the race if he just runs ahead. So we're gonna look at him now and see is he gonna do purple sectors? In both sectors 1 and 2, he has been only a 10th ahead of Niklas Gal in P2. Let's see how this sector plays up. Nice. I was gonna say a slight improvement, but it is actually a hell of a second up. Now, Niklas Gal here is going to start on an outlap now. He just took a slight one to change some settings. He will have to fight Adam Kurian, who did set a 31.4 in his Swedish-Chinese car. It's hard to describe, but a Cyan Link is basically a Volvo, but from China. Also, Niklas Gal isn't valid right now. No, that was that was his pit. He pitted. This is his outlap. Alright, Petery and Fischer joins in on the 31 Brigade. Reminder, Kurkild is on a 31.2. Kurian for 31.4. Fischer 31.8. And Petery 38.9. 31.9. There we go. So let's see if Al can set a better first sector. He's on par. Let's just double change some numbers here. He is a 10th faster than his previous first sector. How about sector 2 coming up in 10 seconds? Six, that is 3/10 up so far. Now raise that all the way to the wall and 31.6. It's only third so far, but it will do. Now, other than the Hungarians and Nils Kurkild, we of course have Colin Barker, currently P4 in the championship. and P7 in qualifying. Coming in here with a lap. 1:32.2. Now the question is, how much setup have people been diddling with? Of course, you have to set up the track, the car for both the infield and the oval section of the track. Although this game doesn't have as much dependence on setup as, say, of course, a Competizione has, I would assume that you're gonna work on at least the gearing for this. Otherwise, you might end up several seconds down, because you can lose a lot in this oval section. Now, is Kirkhill on a hot lap? He is not, actually. Let's go look down here to some other people. The Swedish Brigade, Johan Karlberg with P8, and Jesper Eriksson here at P9. Elsewhere we have... Okay, and this is going to be a difficult name, so bear with me. Saulius Loenevicius, or something like that, who is currently in P9 and currently in the pits. I'll be honest, that is a difficult name, and I will fail it this season. I failed it on the first round where he was present too. An easier name, Paul Droster, currently P11. The other of our head honchos is Pavel Oronovich, P12. Perennial backmarker Chris Bloom is P13. By a margin, but he's trying his best. That's an important part. He's out there having fun. And we're about having fun, you know. And, missing from last week, Pavel Stopinski, who just put himself in P11. The other guy of the bullish squad. So that should be, if I'm not terribly wrong, our 14 competitors today. There is a lot of gravel. A lot of gravel loving going on in turn 1. Let's see if we can see Mikkel Skal do it here, behind Chris Bloom. Basically, T1 and T2, people cut a lot. Was that a collision? I think that was a collision, but... I mean... Yeah, that was a collision. Basically, Chris was not going fast enough as Sultan Petery... No, Mikkel Skal was trying to go around. That is life sometimes. But the point I was gonna make, if we can actually find someone here at T1... at L2. T2 especially here, you see... Actually, you don't see it here, but a lot of people cut the curb on T2. And I've been playing a bit of ranked play in the last week. And I have found the game really has no chill when it comes to track limits. Like, sure, iRacing, you put a wheel off, but your lap is still valid. Here, it will kill you if you leave the white line. Anyway, let's go look at Kirkhill again, because even though the game is saying he did the fastest lap, it was actually a tenth slower as he goes to the gravel, coincidentally. And also P2 Curing coming out at the same time, but let's look at Mikkel Skal again. Currently on a 1:31.6. Of course, he is not on the hot lap, so let's look at the guy behind him, the other Hungarian, Sultan Petery. Tearing up them roads in that Renault. Actually, we're gonna switch between the Hungarians as need be, as Mikkel Skal goes out on his hot lap. Now this is round 3 out of 6. So if you're watching this and you want to join, look us up on YouTube, look us up on Twitch. We have some Discord links flying around. And we'll be more than happy to have you here. And we also have DTM Championships on Mondays, as well as daily touring car events. I mean, in general, you should play some Race Room. It's pretty decent, actually. Now let's see. Nicolas coming up to his first sector. And he is over a 10th behind his previous best first sector. Again. And yeah, he is 4/10 behind Birkel and Kurian. As is. Now the rest of the field have more or less not changed their positions. Let's see how it comes up on Sector 2. 18.8, that is still 2/10 off. So unless he has something hot here, he is not going to pull today. He is not. How about Sultan Petery? Who goes in on a 31.9. That leaves us with 5 guys on 31s. Birkel, despite being in pole with 6 minutes to go, is still chasing it. As I see a bunch of yellow flags flare up on my display, that has to be Pavel going to pits. Now Pavel here has not had as much time to practice as he'd like to, because he's back at his job. That is both sad and good. Sad because, well, he usually goes faster than B14. But good because, I mean, hey, it's productive. In any case, all 14 drivers have set a time. And it is mostly unchanged, I think. Actually, no, Joran Kalberg has made a jump up since last I looked at him, so let's look at him now. And I have to say, I do love that Alfa Romeo. That is, I think, one of the nicer cars in the grid. That is far off. Does his lap count? Actually, even if it does count, he is still 4/10 behind, so let's go look at... Let's say, what does the game suggest we look at? We shall look at a man who is behind. As a Kurian is setting a lap time now. Alright, he is going on a hot lap, so let's go look at him. Kurian and Gal, respectively P2 and P3, have been the closest competitors to Kirkel so far. Now, that is a very interesting line in T1, but I think it's valid. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure of track limits in this track. But if it works, it works. A lot of dirt kicking up. Chris behind him taking a wide line. This first sector is good. It's not good enough, but good. 2/10 behind the best time. Ooh, and that kills his hopes of pole position, I think. That was a lot further out than anyone should be. as is, his lap would actually put him in P5 normally. Except for the fact he's already in P2, so let's go look at the other Hungarian. Mr. P3, Miklas Gal. Also, he didn't love that inside. Going past number 22. I generally think Ladas are underappreciated when it comes to racing. Especially touring car racing, because they've had, I think, a good 10 years on the world level, and I mean, they look nice, they perform well. So I just think every time we laugh at Lada, we're laughing at the wrong car, I think. Now let's see, let's gonna begin this lap. He will just have time for one more after this. We are, of course, still looking at other people. But so far, no one is going super hot. Actually, it's Droster here. He is gonna jump up 2 positions, beating Colin Barker and Barker. And I believe Kirkhill here is on a purple lap. And yeah, sorry, that was the wrong car. It was staying still. Yes, anyway, Kirkhill is on a hot lap right now. This should be one of the last laps of the race. It's qualifying. It's him, Gal, and Barker on the track. And there we go. That is... Is it a 130? I don't think that lap was actually valid, sadly. Even though it was a 139. And Gal is not valid here, which means that is actually the end of the qualifying. Let's go over it quickly. It is Van de Kirkhild in a car, obviously. That's embarrassing. It's a Honda. Sorry. With a 131A1. Then we have Kurian and Gal coming up next. Lucas Fisher and Petery. So that's basically our championship contenders, with the exception of Lucas Fisher. Head honcho Julian Strasser and loyalist Jorn Kolberg comes up next. P4 in the championship. Colin Barker is here at P8. Jesper Eriksson coming in at 9, and it goes to graphics. So I cannot tell you the rest of the results. Or can I? I cannot. In any case, we will be continuing momentarily. 30 seconds, and then the light should come up. Or it starts at 0. That's a good question, isn't it? And let's look at the conditions here. It has actually gotten colder. So there's that. Anyway, the lights are on, and actually we're going. 13 laps coming up now. We will have a big intent going into lap 1, T1. Field goes wide. It is Kirkhill in front of Kurian. Defensive lines, big cut, but that is legal. Lucas Fisher is up 2 positions. Bravo is being kicked up behind, but everyone appears to be coming through the first 3 turns in one piece. As we snake through the infield, third will be kicked up. People will be bumping each other. And Lucas Fisher is gonna be under a heart attack now. As we see Strasser trying to make a move, And Gal trying to make a move. Will it stick? It might not. Ooh, I think there was a... Yeah, we have yellow flags pulled. Droster is up the track. And there goes Chris Bloom. Can't verify what happened, but I believe there was a slight collision between him and Norwich, because we have 3 guys stuck way behind. And it ain't all because of the speed. Anyway, going back here, Niklas Gal on a straightaway. Will Lucas Fisher just let him have it? Or will he fight back? Oh, he lets him have it. Early have the choice. Alberg is looking at Julian Strasser. But that is gonna have to wait, I think. He's not doing much. Or actually, Julian goes white here. Have a small train coming up. Back up front, Kurian has some air now. This is not the first time we see it. Nelson McCurkle taking the lead and just tightly holding it. Alright, back down to the train here. Train-ish. Barker is under attack. That is probably gonna stick. Having the inside here is... Well, if you've ever done an oval race before, you'll know that having the inside actually helps. You don't do many outside overtakes. And yet he lets go. Now, I'm no expert, but I would have held it, taking him in the braking zone. But unlike many of the earlier races we've had this season, never mind, we can see Paul Droster going full lawnmower. Now, unlike many of the races we've seen this season, this is not evolved into a big 20-car train. We are quite fond of trains in this league. But so far today, it's more of a elongated snake. Let's see, Ericsson almost taking out a bumper. Nothing that's gonna worry. Let's go back to the lead here. Then a position to attack. Anyone gain time here? No? Everyone spaced out just enough not to attack each other. The current person with most to lose is Jesper Eriksson. Now, top 8 gets reversed on the grid for the next race. So whoever is P8 now, at the end of the race obviously, but now, will be on pole in race 2. And that's Colin Barker. Now, Barker isn't an offensive guy, he's a consistent guy. And he has used a low finishing position in race 1 to his advantages in race 2. As it is when you are only 15 people in the championship, being consistent really helps. Let's cut back up here. We are not quite in the train, but I think Lucas Fisher should have the draft now. Does he have the balls to do it? He does not. Barker almost has it. At least forces Colin to take a slightly different line. In fact, what am I saying? Colin just lost a second there. Yeah, obviously, that is... He was forced to take a line he couldn't handle. Which means it's Swedish on Swedish action. The Swedes, of course, has had a touring car championship since 1990. I want to say 6. So Swedish people are used to running into each other at high velocity. But will they fight each other? Time will tell. See? Another time with Fisher getting to draft. Will he be able to use it this time? He is only 3/10 behind. 2/10. Lots blocking. But it is legal. That was a legal block, but Fisher has the inside. Oh, and Fisher is by. Barely not. Okay, never mind. But we are going door to door again. But I think... yeah, Fisher is gonna have to yield now. But this has led Sultan Petery to come up here and challenge him. I think Gal had to break a bit early. I will cut to them in a moment because just to quickly reiterate now that we should be entering lap 7 left, sorry. It is Nils van der Kerkel with 3 seconds down to Adam Kurian and another 3 seconds down to Miklas Gal. And then people start coming in hot. Gal, Fisher, Petery, Droster, Barker, Wahlberg, Eriksson, Lorena Vicious, Lipinski, Orinovich, Droster, and Bloom. Back to the fight. As we see Petery go and weird angle behind them. Room point. However, Fisher, I would wait for T1 here. And simply see if you can take that whole 8-turn battle from the lap before and just keep it up. Now let's see, is now 3/10 behind. Not enough suck to carry it on. Oh, but he's gonna try anyway. And this time... No? Maybe? Oh, there we go. Now let's see if he slingshots. Alright, the position switch. As I'm getting a yellow flag alert, it is Orange and Droster. Droster has apparently crashed and back. We'll just cut quickly here. I believe he had a collision with Powell or Norwich. Let's go look back here quickly. Alberg is looking on, and Ericsson has simply not been able to catch up to P8. That is gonna hurt for race 2. Right, back to the battle for 3. It is Lucas Fischer leading on Mikkelskal and Sultan Petery, who is catching up. Let's see, can he slingshot it? Is he gonna do it outside? That is gonna be a bold move. And don't forget, there is a Renault right behind them. Oh, no. Oh. That is an unusual way to attack anything, but... Oh, damn, it actually seems to work. Lucas, I think Lucas was braking under... he was switching lanes under braking there, I think. Oh, and there's a collision, there's a collision! There we go, Lucas Fischer hit Sultan Petery and is off-road. That is a big F for Lucas Fischer. It is the second week in a row he hit someone during racing. Now he hit Sultan Petery, and I'm not going to be an expert on what actually happened. I simply think they touched. Sometimes that is how life is. But now Petery is leading a train of 4 guys, with Strasser, Barker, and Karlberg behind them. Slight train movement here. Gonna check my staff notes here. Fischer is back on the road and he is driving, but he's down in P12 now. There we go, Sultan Petery is moving. Nothing in my notes about this whole crashing thing. Although I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a protest about it. In any case, this is actually means Jesper Eriksson is back up and he's gonna be in pole in race 2 at this rate. Good for him. Now let's see. A few laps to go. Numbers 1 and 2 completely unchanged, as Strasser is now looking at Petery. Did Petery take damage? That is the question. He may have taken a big fat hit on the bumper, nothing I can tell from my angle at least. But probably didn't help him. Let's go back up, obviously. It is still Kirkhild in front of Kurian. That is not going to change. There are 5 seconds ahead. And another 5 seconds down to the train. But now, here comes T1. Now, Strasser was... Ooh, can I get some screen time today? Well, you don't get screen time. You take it. And Julian does plan on taking both screen time and a P4 this race. Barker, who has done one offensive move today, might just be content with actually staying there in 6th. Or at least seeing if Peter and Stress is gonna have a collision, because there are not a lot of laps left. We might not know what's gonna happen. With Detour here, Lucas Fisher is now up to P11 again. He ate over Norwich, and now he's gonna eat Stopinski. But I don't think it's gonna help his mood. Not that I blame him, to be honest. But he is passed. Alright, we're gonna switch cameras. Barker is gonna thread the Strasser. Diving in on the inside has worked before. And I think it might actually do it again at some point, because Strasser ate a lot of gravel there. A lot of gravel. And, well, he may have wanted P4, he may have wanted some TV time, but he's gonna get a P6 instead. Colin Barker simply sticks it, and that gives a lot of room for Salt and Petery. Now, I said Lucas Fisher had taken Powell's place, but apparently Powell has some disagreements about it. He is fighting back. But I do believe it should stick now. Even if they're gonna go right to the line. The battle over P10, but I'm mostly watching it out of principle. But we're actually gonna go back now because Karlberg has a direct line in Julian Strasser. Will our dear Austrian man lose another position? Oh, that's a lot of gravel, Julian. You're a race car driver, not a lawnmower. Act like it. Anyway, it is final lap, by the way. Fisher has just taken Stopinski too, actually. That's going hot. And out in front, Nils van der Kirkel is about to make it 5 out of 5. And Adam Kurian, I haven't talked a lot about him, but well, he's just there. He too. Miklas Gall has taken a lot of room now that he's free of Lucas Fisher and is in P3. And Sultan Petery, well, he's P4. Now let's see the Barker's Strasser Karlberg train again. They have been very close for the past, well, all the race, actually. Oh, and here we go, actually. Nils van der Kirkel makes it 5 out of 5, and will be starting P8 in the next race. Adam Kurian, P2. Gal. And then Petery coming in, making it a perfect Hungarian threesome. That sounded wrong, sorry. Strasser holds it on to take P6 behind Barker, but in front Karlberg. Pole position in race 2 is going to be Jesper Eriksson. And I'm not going to ask why that guy's spinning around. I'm just not going to ask. Anyway, Solius Laurinavicius is going to, well, he's P9 this race, he's going to be P9 next race. And Lucas Fisher is going to hope that he has a lock here next race, because he started great. Started P5, made it to P3 by turn 2, and unfortunately, well, he collided. He collided with Sullivan Petery, and that's what happens. So here are your results. The last guys is Stopinski, Norwich, Droster, and Bloom. That's lap goes to Nils Vinterkirkhild. And now we're gonna switch to my camera. There we go. Because I know this game well enough to know that in a few seconds I have to go to the lobby. And actually search for the whole thing again. So what do you feel about the race? I say as I look at myself in the camera. Sorry. How do you feel about the race? Please tell us. Please let us know. Please follow us too, actually. If you're watching this on Twitch today, or if in a few days you're watching this on YouTube. On YouTube, well. 35 seconds until the whole thing goes on. The big question is, will Petery get punished for hitting Lucas? I can't tell you today because the stewarding is going to take a few days to clear, to be honest. But from my personal point of view, I simply think it was a racing incident. We seem to have run racing incident every weekend, and it sucks, but I mean, it happens. Although last week we had Daniel Strobel. Oh, but that was the Lucas Fisher incident where he basically, how do I show this in camera? Swerved in and hit Lucas Fisher. Not the same thing though. But same consequences, Lucas Fisher just getting dumped. Now, let's see if the server will switch over for race 2. That's RaceRoom for you. Speaking of servers, we're hosted on simracing.gp. Your place to host Assetto Corsa, Assetto Corsa Competizione, Race Room, and Automobilista stuff, I think. Alright, so, basically, there we go. We almost, let me just switch cameras here. Okay, we're live again. This time it is Ericsson starting in E1. I think one of the cars have not loaded in because it's missing. There we go. It is Ericsson taking it to T1. Around Strasser and Karlberg, will there be some left touching? Barker is already he's basically being trained now. And there's a collision, there goes Strasser. That is a good question. Here is Miklas Gal gonna get punished for that one. Hitting the head honcho in his butt is not conduct of business. Lucas Fisher's up in position already. This time it's a lot closer. But it is a longer race, so there is more room to have mistakes. It's Ericsson, Karlberg, Gal already up, Kirkhild already P4, and Barker sticking out in P5. As Kirkhild goes past Gal already, that was quick. He usually waits a bit before he pounces. But not today. With Fisher, now we do have a train coming on here for the oval section. Big fat train coming on. Lots of guys. Even if you're racing the wrong way around Indianapolis. Let's see. Will it be attacking? I think Peter actually may have bumped someone there. And there goes some door-to-door action. Came up very wide and very wide in T1. Orgal is being thrown up. Lucas Fisher is on the killing path today. Figuring that if he can't win on defensive driving, he's just gonna attack. Doors are being hit now. Actually gonna have to go back up because the Hungarians fighting. They're having a slight party behind the Brit. We're almost making a driving error there. It actually did make a driving error. Instead of hitting her, that gal, he just yielded, and that leaves Peary to come up, and Peary now has, well, I do believe to be the advantage here. I gotta go back up front. Colin has the slipstream. It is Swedish and Swedish action. And behind him it's Hungarian and Hungarian action. And further behind, Chris Bloom is making an offensive move, and it actually sticks. Nice job. Really, nice job. Alright, back to the Hungarians. Or Hungarian. Since all Hungarians are currently involved in fighting. Oh. If we kick up any more dirt, we'll need rally tires for this. So Lucas Fisher goes, well, somewhere into the next zip code. There is fighting all over the table right now. As Kirkhill has made it up to the Swedes, guys. And he's gonna take one guy. He's gonna take Colin Barker. Gonna take him good. And presumably he's gonna have the slipstream and take the next guy too. Let's go. Do we have a bomber cam? Let's go into bomber cam. We haven't used that cam all day, but we're gonna use it now. Go back out. Is it a sling? Why am I looking at Ericsson? We will never know. But Kirkhill is in the lead, and let's go back straight back at P4. It's Colin Barker, who's looking at some Swedish infighting. And then we have a big fat train coming on here. A lot of guys from a lot of countries. All it takes is one guy to make a dumb move, and we might have 3 or 4 guys off-road. Because we got Colberg, Ericsson, Barker, Gell, Peter Kurian, and Stresser. All within moments of each other. Let's see. Barker goes defensive. Or he's offensive, what am I saying? He's on the offense. Which now means he's gonna be in the defense as Peter attacks Ericsson, who's had a terrifying few laps, seconds actually. And Kurian behind him hits the wall briefly. Cal Barker again? Q versus P4 in the championship. Kurian is looking at the inside, and he does not like what he's seeing. It is still a healthy little train coming here, consisting of more or less half the field. Currently, we are looking at Kurian, who is... Well, he's been on that bumper for a while now. We're gonna go back up to Gal here, because Gal has a run. Barker closing the door. But leaving open another one, and Peary is gonna sneak in behind and between them, actually. And he's gonna yield that one again, but I think there is some touching going on there, but a lot of touching, actually. But so far, it looks like Gal actually holds that one. And behind him, Kurian has made it past Ericsson. Already 6 laps in. I did not even notice that. Time flies when you're having fun, right? Ooh, are you okay there, Strasser? Might not know. Let's go back up to Colin Barker. We are back to door-to-door action. Petery is gonna make his opinion apparent now. But will it stick? Because now it's slipstream time. Three guys are now just using each other's draft, and one of them is gonna have to make a move here. As so, Gal takes a big swing. We're back to 3 wide. Oh no, he yields. I thought Peter was gonna make a big crash there, but Barker goes back into the lead, but P3, sorry. And here comes Kurian, and Peter takes P4. Now it is a Hungarian battle again. I say Hungarian a lot here. Speaking of Hungarians, an Austrian has made his appearance. Strasser has made it up to the Hungarian threesome. And I think that was a touch again, actually. Kurian hits Gal. Strasser goes past Kurian. And Barker and Petery go scot-free. It's gonna be a lot of shouting, I think. Let's just take a moment to go look at the rest of the place here. P8 is Ericsson. Lithuanian man is P8. Lucas Fischer's P10. Or Norwich P11. Droster P12. Loom P13 and Stopinski P14. Now let's go see if there's some action going on the straight. I think Strasser just took that. And then he blocks the inside. That is actually a good move. He just can't stick it because he does not have enough power, so he's actually gonna lose position unless bumping a bit Kurian. Now, it looked good, his original move on Gal, but he just lost all momentum, and Kurian actually now makes the move. Well, there's gonna be a lot of pointed words here. Lots of arguing, I think. As we see Lucas Fischer for some reason, I don't know, trying to Tokyo drift it. In the background, I think there was some kind of, I don't know, glitch with something, because this car just on a straight decided to skid. In any case, he's a DNF. Very unfortunate. But it did look like a technical issue, so there's that. It is Krughild coming in here. But a fat advantage to Colin Barker, of all people, who is actually keeping his second place. Barker is third, showing that consistency helps. Petery, for better or for worse, P4. Here comes the train again. It's still close, but it is kinda dying out a bit. Let's go back and look at Stopinski's battle with Bloom for P12. I say battle, that it might be an exaggeration, but Bloom has done well to hold the position so far. I'm just gonna stick the camera here on the center battle because basically that's the best part, isn't it? Although Petery is going off and hit Barker, but he's not gonna hit him right away. Droster might have a good shot at some slipstreaming now. We'll see. 2/10. Sticking his nose out. Ooh, basically forcing Gal to take gravel. But it's not gonna work. It is not gonna work, and Ericsson is slowly fancying his chances behind him. Yes, there again. But that was a bit of a jerk move. I mean, as in the car jerked, not as an easy jerk, but yeah. Let's not get too nitty-gritty about the details, eh? As a bird just goes screaming past my window. Sorry if you heard that. Let's go back up. Petery has been spending the past few laps catching up Barker. And now he has a shot. He's down to quarter of a second. 2/10. 1/10. Ooh, what the? What was that? Lots of visible damage. I honestly don't know what happened there. He was up there and suddenly the front end just had no grip. Incredible that a car is still running after that big hit. As far as I can see, that was not at all on Barker, who just kept going straight. It's a lot of visible damage, and Renault is not supposed to look like that. We'll see if that affects him. Elsewhere, I believe there's been some drama because Droster has lost a second on Gal. They were very close to each other. Despite taking aero damage, I think he is more or less fine. We'll have to keep our eyes on him for the rest of the race. Going back down, it's Bloom and Stopinski are still at it. A very unimportant battle in the big scheme of things, but it is nice to look at sometimes. Bloom, of course, being one of the few African sim racers I know. One of the very few. Go back up here because Peter just spent a moment in the straight and he lost a lot of time. As the rest of the Hungarians are catching up. Now back to the back muggers. Nope, nothing yet. Just to reiterate, it is Sven de Kyrkelt going for his 6th win out of 6 possible. 6 seconds behind him is Johan Kalberg, who is incredibly enough holding his position. In front of Barker, Eatery, Brian, Gal, and Strasser. Big train from earlier this race has kind of petered out. No pun intended. Let's see how much does Peter lose in terms of aero. I'm not gonna say it's only visual damage because he's not actually losing all that much on top speed, I think. Which makes the whole crash even more weird. That's it. There are 2 other Hungarians and they are catching up to him. So there's that. After all, 3 Hungarians are all in the top 5 of the championship. And at their position, every point counts. But really, that Renault does not look good. I believe it understeered out of that corner, actually. Now let's see. Kurian has the advantage now. Whoa, if Kurian doesn't slide into the wall first. Lots of top speed. I don't think that man has a lot of downforce going for him. Well, that is more or less clean. Kurian running a very low downforce setup, apparently. Because otherwise that move would not have worked. Well, that moves him into P4. Looking back up, Barker is very few laps to go. Slowly looking at that P2. Colin has done a very anonymous race so far, but he has kept his position. When everyone went fighting, he just stuck it out. When Ericsson almost crashed out, he stayed. Let's see. Actually, we're gonna cut back here because Eatery is finally losing to Gal as well. Which is not very bueno, basically. Let's see, is it gonna be an outside overtake again? Or is Miklas slightly smarter than Kurian with his insane setup? Alright, Peter is gonna defend it. Yeah, don't move too much, everybody. Yeah, that's just gonna be it. Peter he doesn't have the ability to defend that one. Simple as. Let's see some other people on the straight. Lipinski has been stuck behind Bloom for a long time. Maybe it's gonna work now. Still nothing. Need some of that Hyundai magic, I think. But the Hyundai does not have magic. I mean, coming back up. Barker has started to reach up here. He has 2 laps to go. Well, a lap and a half, actually. So if he wants points, now is the right time to take them. He's 3/10 behind here, so he should have the slipstream. Let's see what it says, what my timer says. 2/10. Oh, he's gonna go for a cheeky outside maneuver. Colin Barker's gonna take the safe line. Oh, and there's gonna be some bumping. Barker just basically running up that butt, which actually opens door for Kurian coming in now. As Barker does a slight moving under braking. But not enough because Kurian is bumper to bumper again. Let's see. Dell is also with a shot now, as we are on the last lap. Just gonna take a slight peek up here, and to Kirkhill in a very lonely position. We'll look at him in a moment. He is obviously gonna be celebrating. Actually, we're gonna look at him now, as he is gonna make it 6 out of 6 possible. You'll never guess it, but he's leading the championship, and he's also wrecking the car. Big oof. Here we go. Here we go. Colin Barker. Excellent. And Kurian coming in P4. Miklas Gall in P5. Sultan Peterine in P6. Julian Strasser P7. Pole position. Yes, Berrickson. Not that the game says it, in P8. Solisius in P9. All the rest are coming in at a P10. With a P11 over Norwich right behind him. Chris Bloom is... he's gonna stick it to P12 actually. I believe that is his first time of not finishing last. And a wholeheartedly, unironically, good job from me. Bringing up the rear is Paul Stupinski, and our only DNF is Lucas Fischer. And the Kirkhill, not surprisingly, did another best lap. Let's just switch on the camera here. Actually, I'm switching to the other camera here. But we're basically just gonna wrap it up now. We've had a nice 5 quarters, I think. We will be on here next week, of course, with more action, this time at Sonoma. A track that I really don't like personally, but it should be terrific, that's the word, terrific for touring cars, as it is for stock cars, to be honest. I'm just gonna leave you with the final glance here of the race results, and we're actually just gonna cut directly to a loading screen. So without further ado, thank you if you're watching this on Twitch. Thank you if you're watching this on YouTube later at some point. And in any case, I've been Handsome Lars, and thank you for watching TRACC. Where's the button?